Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus placements. I hope you're well. Thank you so much for being here. I'm Jen with Timeline Tarot, and this is your tarot card for the week of July 12th, 2026. It is a general collective reading, so as the messages come through today, take what fits, leave what doesn't, because if it's not your message, it simply means it is meant for someone else to hear. And please check your other placements, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. And if you're not sure what those placements are, in the description box of this video is a link where you can obtain your free birth chart. Also, Pisces, keep in mind, this is not what you don't see coming for the week ahead. The tarot card of the week reading, however, is intended to be a message to you from source, something that they want you to consider so you can make the best decision for you and your life at this time. With all of that said now, my love, let's begin tapping into the Pisces collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus placements. What is the tarot card of the week here for the Piscean collective? We have the Seven of Swords. What situation in your life do you need to protect and cherish? Cancer also had that card come out, so if you have any Cancer placements, you might want to look into that as well. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Devil. What boundaries need to be created in your life when it comes to a toxic situation? Tell me more about this here, please, for Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus placements. What situation in your life do you need to protect and cherish? One more shuffle. Thank you. We have the Ten of Wands, the Two of Wands, and the Three of Cups. Bottom of the deck, Eight of Swords. It's like, do it, make the choice to do it differently this time. Ten of Wands. Tell me about that Ten of Wands. Why is the Ten of Wands here? One more shuffle. I think you're leaving behind. I notice in your deck in the Ten of Wands, the person's leaving behind a city. In some decks, the Ten of Wands, the person's walking towards something. You're walking away. So either you're like physically walking away now, or you have already walked away from a very difficult situation, environment, or connection. One where like you carried the brunt of it, maybe the emotional or financial labor. So you did, like, you overdid it at work. You know what I mean? You overdid it in a relationship. Ten of Wands, clarified by Six of Wands. So now you get to move towards victory. Three of Pentacles and the Nine of Swords. Bottom of the deck, Eight of Swords. It needs to look a little differently now. That's what I keep getting. Like, you have already learned that if you take on the bulk of the work, it never ends up in your favor, right? It's too stressful financially, emotionally, spiritually, intellectually. Like your mind gets overtaxed, overworked. So now you are moving towards something new, okay? New connection, new collaboration, new friends, new community. It could be a love partner for some of you, but your victory and success with creating the new comes from not repeating the past. I think you're a little nervous about creating the new, as much as you may want it. You may want to connect with people, but you're nervous to do that. You may want to find a love partner, but you're nervous to do that. You know, you may want to find a new job, but you're nervous to do that. Two of Wands. I think what you need to do is protect your peace, like protect your sanity. And the only way to do that is like this time around, we have to do it differently. Tell me about the Two of Wands. Tell me about the Two of Wands. One more shuffle. Thank you. We'll take it. Two of Wands, clarified by Nine of Wands. The Four of Pentacles and the Six of Pentacles. Bottom of the deck, Three of Swords. I've been saying this in your readings for a while, where you have a new opportunity with someone, okay? You have like, there's like a new person. They're like hovering over this in this reading. You have a new person coming into your life. Professional, platonic, romantic, soulmate. It'll be different for each of you. But if you don't learn from what happened in that past relationship, then there's a potential here for you to repeat a cycle, even though it's someone entirely new. It would be like, I don't want to say same lesson, different meat suit, but same outcome, different meat suit, different person. So if you're going to hold firm and show up in connection the same way you always have, unfortunately, you're going to have the same result that you had in the past. If you're willing to grow and expand and do it differently, I think you have a much different outcome. The difference here, or what makes the difference here, is can you put up good boundaries at work? If your job is 40 hours a week with occasional overtime, and now you have a new job, the first couple of weeks where they expect you to work overtime every single week, do you speak up? Do you say, I'm sorry, during the interview process, you said occasional. This seems to be an every week thing. Like there's something here about like, you can't allow people to like promise you a good thing and then not deliver. You're going to have to learn how to hold people accountable, Pisces, because some people, even if they have the very best of intentions, they say something, but it's like it's on us to hold them accountable. And the only way we can hold them accountable is by putting in some boundaries with them and with ourselves. So, okay, the last job I worked at was supposed to be 40 hours a week. I worked 60 hours a week. I carried the bulk of the work, right, for the company or the department or whatever. Now that I am able to move towards a new job, there's something here about like, don't do it the past way. If you do it the past way, you're going to end up in the same situation. So again, this time around, it's like having better boundaries with yourself. Okay, the last job took advantage of me. So this job that I'm starting on Monday, if they're going to ask me to work overtime in my first week, that's a red flag. Notice the flag here? Like that's a red flag. So you need to call out the red flag. I'm sorry, during the interview process, you said overtime would be occasional. I'm noticing this is my first week and you're already asking me to work overtime. And unfortunately, that is something that happened at the last job, and I ended up carrying the workload for the department, and it exhausted me to the point where I had to leave the job. So I just need to make sure that moving forward, I'm not getting stuck in the same thing. So is this a one-off occurrence of overtime, or did you really mean to say during the interview process that overtime is like, an unspoken requirement? And that's a little out of your comfort zone. You're not a confrontational sign at all. But if you don't say something, you're going to get sucked right back into another job where you're working 60 hours a week. So there's something like that here at play. Again, I feel like it's new. It can really end up to your benefit in that Three of Cups card. But once you create the boundary, it's not just speaking the boundary to the person. You now have to hold yourself accountable. Otherwise, you're going to Seven of Swords yourself in the new connection. And it's not going to be so much that they took advantage of you. You allowed them to take advantage of you because you didn't learn from the past relationship. There's something here about like, I don't know, the energy I feel is like maintaining your autonomy and speaking up for yourself. Not allowing yourself to be breadcrumbed or kept stuck or wounded again. Tell me about that Three of Cups. One more shuffle. Thank you. Three of Cups, clarified by the Ten of Swords, Temperance, and a Knight of Pentacles, bottom of the deck, Five of Swords. Yeah, you have someone new. I want 3 cards on the new. So you have new here on the table. It's like literally hovering over this. But how that new plays out is going to be up to you. You can definitely sabotage this connection by not maintaining your autonomy, not speaking up. Notice what we don't have on the table, Queens or Kings. And for me, Queens exist in the present. They process the present. They process the past. They learn from the past. And Kings take action. I don't have you processing anything that happened in the past. And so I don't show you here showing up differently moving forward. So if you do the same thing and you put all of your trust in that one person and you don't call them out on anything or stand up for yourself, it might take a while, but I think it inevitably has the same ending, the same fated ending here. Can I have 3 cards on the new coming in? So we have to learn how to do connection differently. One more shuffle. Thank you. Because then there is success and victory. 6 of Wands, 3 of Pentacles, 3 of Cups. Now we feel like, wow, you know what I mean? I learned the reason why I went through the 5 of Wands and the 7 of Swords and the 10 of Swords and 10 of Wands was because now I learned how to do connection differently. So I wanted to know about the new here for you. The new 4 of Swords, the Chariot, and the Moon. You don't see this person coming. Hierophant, 4 of Wands, told you, new. We have the 3 of Swords and we have the Emperor. 6 of Cups. This is all going to hinge on whether or not you repeat a past mistake here. You definitely have new coming in. And it has the possibility to really go the distance. Like the company that you're at for a long time, the friend you're going to have in your life for, years and years to come, the love partner that you possibly spend the rest of your life with. But if you give up your autonomy and you give up your voice and you just go with the flow, again, head in the sand now, you can't blame this next person for taking advantage of you because you should have learned from that terrible situation that you had in the past. So moving forward, it's like we have to do connection a little differently. This person's coming in soon. I have Cancer here, the Four of Swords within 4 weeks. So I would take this time, and I think that's why it's your tarot card of the week. This is like the prelude to you meeting the new person. What situation in your life do you need to protect and cherish? You need to protect and cherish yourself enough so you don't find yourself in the same situation you did in the past. And the best way for you to do that is from now, say, I'm looking for the new. Talk to the universe. Talk to your spirit guides. Okay, spirit guides, I want a new boss or a new business partner, new romantic partner, new friend, right? Look, Knight of Cups. I want a new offer, justice. It needs to be fair and balanced. So be honest with yourself. What boundary do you have to set up with yourself? Like, you know, checkpoints almost. If this person does this, I'm going to do this. If they say this, I'm going to do this. It's a tough thing to do when you're not used to it. You know, I serve on a local board here in my community. We meet once a month. And in the beginning, they thought they could call me all hours of the day and night to discuss last night's meeting. And it's like, oh no, that's a volunteer effort. I had to draw a boundary, but not just say it to them. I had to hold myself as accountable as I hold them. So the first couple of times that they started calling me at night, nope, it's after 5 or 6 p.m. I'm not available to talk about. If it's an emergency, it's different. A personal emergency, that's a different story. But you can't call me 11:30 at night to discuss last night's meeting. No. But again, you have to hold yourself accountable and not feel bad about it. I think that's the problem with you. I think you feel bad saying no. That past cycle should have taught you not to feel bad to say no or to put up some boundaries. I just didn't call those people back. I would call them back the next day. And then they would say, hey, I tried to call you last night. You didn't answer. Yeah, because it was after 6 p.m. That's it. I don't have to give any explanation. Yeah, I didn't answer because it was after 6 p.m. That's it. I didn't call you back because it was after 6 p.m. One more shuffle here. Thank you. The Fool, the new beginning. Queen of Swords and the Seven of Wands. Look, you have a new beginning here. You definitely have a new connection coming in. But based upon the past, you're going to have to be a person who actually speaks the truth and not be afraid to hurt people's feelings. Now, you don't have to be rude, but she is the Queen of Brevity. She doesn't have to give you a 30-minute speech. Seven of Wands. Have some good boundaries. And I think that this connection can really go the distance for you. I was going to say difference. So it can really go the distance and be very different than any other connection you had in the past. But it's going to require you to call them out. And you're going to have to hold yourself accountable to do that as well. That is what I have for you, my dear, for the week ahead. If you like those messages, they resonated with you, you want to claim all or part of them, please be sure to click like, share, comment, and subscribe. Hype the video if you're able to do that. And don't forget to check out your other placements. Until I read for you again, I am wishing you light, love, and peace.